Welcome back. Now that we have our project plan in place with the large language model, let's get into some of the fun stuff, some of the details. Don't worry, Big B is going to guide you through on what to select if you're still thinking, okay, what's the fastest way to do this, right? Now, consider we have languages for our front end. We need languages for our back end. We need the library, right? And then we're going to need our code editor. Just keep these in mind because these are the four, let's say, starting pillars for having your actual coding project underway. Now, the front end, this is going to be everything that the user sees. This is what they interact with. The back end, it's going to be the brains behind the interaction, right? So the stuff that your users won't see, but the things that are making everything go, right? The library, holding it all together, right? And then the code editor, where all the magic is taking place, right? So the code editor is the outputs that you receive from the large language model, the code, you're going to put it into the code editor, right? So front end, what I want you to keep in mind, there's going to be different options for front end. I'm going to tell you to go with JavaScript, right? Now, JavaScript, the reason why I'm going to tell you to go with JavaScript is, keep in mind, we're first-time developers or developers with very little experience. You're using the large language models. Large language models perform better when it has more of a larger reference point to go off of, right? JavaScript is where you want to be, right? Can't go wrong. There's a lot of reference points. It's going to be the easiest for you to communicate with the large language model. It will communicate back to you and give you what you need. Also, a lot of your work is going to fall outside of the large language model. So you're going to want to go to Reddit at times. You're going to want to check out Substacks. You're just going to need different opinions as you sort of go into a more niche aspects of your application, right? You're going to want something that's more widely referenced. Trust me on that. For backend, right? You know, you're going to Node.js is going to come up a lot. Python is going to come up a lot. For your application, more than likely, I mean, unless it's going to be more, heavy on the data science, data engineering, right? You're going to want to keep it Node.js, right? For your library, right? You're going to see React. You're going to see things like Next. Keep in mind that large language models at this point, they are and have been influenced to provide certain outputs. That's the shortest way I can explain that to you. So a lot of times it's going to just give you a lot of information, leave you like, okay, well, what should I do with this? What should I do with this? Go with React. So as I mentioned in an earlier video, you want to own the process. You want to be able to control everything. You want to stand behind everything. React, you have full control. Next, other ones, it's going to more so tell you what files need to be where or what not. React. So you're going to want to have a React Native JavaScript app. It'll be using Node.js on the back end, and your code editor will be VS Code. VS Code is widely supported. It's great. It's perfect. And then when you set up your application, it's really going to be this simple. All you're going to do is create a folder on your desktop, right? That folder is going to contain, right, the files provided by the large language model, right? So the large language model is going to give you coding outputs in JavaScript or even Node, right? React is already connected to your VS Code, so we'll kind of go into that next. But what VS Code is going to read is the folder on your desktop, right? And then that folder will become the project within VS Code, which is going to contain all of the components for your code. You'll see it as you go, but it's super simple, right? Folder on the desktop and the VS Code, outputs coming from ChatGPT and Claude, whether it be JavaScript or Node, right? In your React Native application, you're going to have components sitting in VS Code. Boom, you're good to go. However, trust me, to keep it simple, fast, efficient, widely supported, JavaScript, Node.js, React, VS Code, that's your starting point.